Hello Twitch, welcome to this live stream today, attempt number 2 at this flight from Quebec City to Toronto on the 737-800 flight WestJet 3411, which is meant to be on the Dash 8, but I'll do it on the 737-800. So we are all set, ready to go, and we'll get cracking. So the first thing I'll do is to check the amount of fuel required on the flight plan. I've got a flight plan today, courtesy of PFBX. And we need release fuel of 7.1 tons. So we'll go into the menu, FSX fuel, and set 7,100 kgs. Here we are. The payload today is so the zero fuel weight 60.2. Set 60.2. That gives me 60.1, always rounds down for some reason. And that's about it. Ground connections are set. The doors, I'll close this one because it's gonna ask me to close it, open it while it's already open with GSX, so I'll close it. And that's pretty much it actually for the moment with this. So like always, we'll go up on the overhead panel, set the RS, check the stall warning. So we'll assume we are already on. We'll give the crew some electricity, power, and the galley. The fuel is already set, so we can set the seatbelt sign on. And we've got a pin in place, so we can set these on as well. And looking down, we'll do the fire tests. And do the fire cargo test as well. And that's about it. So back and flight deck, we'll check the tech log, make sure everything... Hello Jaxis, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so we'll check that the tech log is in order, no defects, no deferred items. And once this is done, we can already do the checklist. And the problem is that I'm a little bit daft. I forgot the name of that flipping checklist. This is really bad. Where is this? Oh, sorry, I'm looking for something at the moment. Sorry about the delay. Multi-crew. It's in the documents. How you doing, Jaxis, today? You're good? I'm looking for some documents. This is gonna delay me, fortunately. I must be daft. I must really be daft. No. Cool, excellent. Excellent, excellent. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Anyway, I can't remember. it's terrible. My head is all over the place. I can't remember the name of that flipping checklist. You know, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, it will come back to me. I've got it on the tip of the tongue, so to speak, but I can't get it out for some reason. Anyway, so we are in Quebec City, 737-800 Whiskey Lima. The engine rating is correct. The nav data is the correct one. So pause in it, enter the airport ICAO code CYQB for Quebec City, and the RS position will take from the GPS left and set it here. The route, I've got company route created on PFPX, so CYYZ 01, and flight number is 13411, and it's gonna be runway 24 today. We can check the route quickly. Makes sense. And activate, execute. We'll set the departure. Runway 24 in Quebec City, and the departure is radar vectors, so it's giving us at the moment just the vectors, which is fine. Checking, yeah, 241, and then yeah, we go to a Quebec viewer, which is cool. And for the arrival, I'll preset at the moment runway 24 right. I'll double check actually if that's the proper landing runway, and it's IMEBA 2 via LETAC, and just check that there's no discontinuity. There is, we'll put LETAC here on top of the LETAC, which is on the previous page, and execute. And now there's no more discontinuity. I'll check the accuracy of the arrival further. Well, later on, I mean. Perfinite reserve is about, how much is the reserve from the flight plan? Looking at the flight plan of the other machine. Reserve 2.5 and 1.2, so 3.7. So the reserve fuel is made up of the fuel to go to the alternate, and I like to have at least 2 tons to go to the alternate. Actually 2.5 tons, which for this aircraft is maybe too much. I need to actually check this. It was more for the 777. And final reserve, which is the last 30 minutes of fuel, so that's about 1.1 tons roughly. So that gives us well, just over 1.1, so rounded up altogether gives us 3.7, which is cool. So that's that. And then cost index is 35. The cruise altitude, it's a kind of low level route, although it's about a 1 hour flight. So cruise wind, so for the cruise wind we enter the top of climb wind for the 737, and the top of climb wind given by PFPX and Active Sky is 044 at 19. So this wind will determine the climb speed worked out by the FMC. The transition is 18,000, I believe. I'll check the charts quickly. 18,000, yes, the same as United States. That's it. So I'll come back to Perfinite and wait to do the performance. In the meantime, we'll go to the overhead. Set the overhead. Before I do that, this parking is too small for your aircraft. This was a medium. I should have gone where I was yesterday. Okay, maybe you it. 27, 26, no. That's what. 28, 29. This will be 30. Maybe we'll accept. So let's try again. Yes, happy days. So we'll request catering first. Sorry about this move. Handling by WestJet. It's gonna ask for the doors to open. They might do it by itself. That's alright. So that's all cool. Let's go back to the overhead. Your damper comes on. Navigation, display, and transfers. This is all normal and auto. The fuel pumps can come on. There's no fuel in the center tank, so we'll leave them off. We'll start the APU for later on. Window 8 can come on, and probably it stays off. Engine anti stays off as well. The packs, because we're not using the APU yet, they can stay off. We'll set the pressurization to the cruise level, anticipated cruise level 240, and the elevation in Toronto is looking at the flight plan, 569, so 550 is good. Coming down here, RTO for the auto brake, speed brakes are down, flaps, parking brake we can set now, although we've got the chocks, and that's about it. So all good for that. Then looking at the instruments. The QNH is in inches, and today the QNH, courtesy of Active Sky. Next, open right entry aft. Okay, so sometimes it does it by itself, sometimes it doesn't. So let's see. The doors. Yeah, I'll do it. No worries. There's a problem with the auto brake. Okay, so sometimes you have to release the parking brake. Reset the parking brake, maybe. And then set the auto brake. Nope, it doesn't solve the problem. Right, the auto brake goes off. See you later on. So 29 was gonna be the QNH. 2958. It's quite low. Okay. 2958. That's set. The viewer displayed will display the airports and the flight directors come on. Runway heading is 241, I think. Yep. Or 241 is the first heading. And initially it's 4,000 feet. Although, I mean, there's no traffic, so that's not really important today. Right, so we'll actually bring the engineer and he's gonna sign this off because for the moment it's not working. So we'll defer this defect and we'll go without the auto brake working since I can't seem to set it. We'll see later on if I can get it once we start the engines and we get a bit of hydraulics and stuff going on. Request boarding, certainly. For this, close those doors and open this one. So in the meantime, we'll do the performance. The zero fuel rate is already entered from PMDG. Takeoff of 67.3. And one will go full 22k. And then takeoff laps 5. No descent path after leap box, yeah, that's no problem. CG by PMDG and then the speeds. 22, 147, set 147 in the speed window. The arm airnav only. And that's pretty much it. You got the passengers coming on. This one is still not working for some reason. It's quite interesting. Maybe there's it's one of the faults. But I don't have any faults programmed in PMDG, so I'm not really sure why. So I'll do without anyway.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Hello. Hello. Hello.
So all good so far.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, hello. Fantastic.
Hi, Molly. Hello.
So quick brief. It will be takeoff runway at 24. The radar vectors pretty much straight ahead. Then radar vectors en route. Initially 4,000 feet. It's gonna be noise abatement procedure number 1. So we'll accelerate at 3,000 feet, and we'll have the thrust reduction at 1,500. Taxiing from runway 30. It's gonna be fairly straightforward. We're gonna push to face to the kind of nose to the right, and then taxi via the Juliet taxiway, enter runway 30, and then down on Golf to holding point. Correct, no, that was for runway 06. So all the way the other way around actually. Taxi the other side towards runway 24. That's a little bit easier. And that's about it. Transition altitude is 18,000, so that's fairly high. And, so these guys, baggage loading in progress. Okay. So we'll wait for the boarding completed, so they must have finished as well loading. The bags. Yeah, he's gonna go away. Yeah, cool. He's climbing away in his thing. We can get rid of the ground power as well, and jump onto the right FMC. We'll close the doors here, close the cargo doors, and then ground connections, we can get rid of them as well. Set the FMC to the legs page. We can do the pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight checklist.
Pre-flight checklist. IRS mode selector.
Nav.
Gear pins.
Removed.
Oxygen.
Tested.
Yaw damper.
On.
Navigation, transfer and display switches.
Normal auto.
Fuel quantity.
As required.
Fuel pumps.
On.
Cabin galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Armed.
Passenger signs.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Hydraulics.
Normal.
Air conditioning and pressurization.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross-checked.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake lever.
Down.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Wheel well fire warning.
Checked.
Radios, radar and transponder.
Set and standby. Set.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Take off refit.
Complete.
FMC CDU.
Set.
N1 IAS bugs.
Set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Flight set door.
Locked.
Doors.
Closed.
Pre-flight checklist complete.
Cool, so we'll get the flow for this. Ready to start. So the packs come off. Well, the hydraulic A pump come off, the packs come off, anti-collision light come on, and the last thing is first we check still that the parking brake is set, which was the case, and this one can come on halt off. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. hydraulic A pumps,
off,
packs,
off,
anti-collision light,
on,
parking brake,
set,
transponder.
off.
Before start, checklist complete.
Okay, cool. We'll go for push. Ice warning, no. Don't need to the ice. And the nose goes to the left. So the tail to the right. So nose left and right. Two.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Yeah, as I said in the on the YouTube video, the Maeve, no blue screen, just the whole internet went down, the network, everything went, I lost the network and the internet connection, everything went, but no blue screen, no, thank God. And yeah, no,
Locking gear.
I'm not sure what GSX says that we need to wait for to start the engines in icing conditions. We don't need to wait for that. We can start the engines straight away.
Departure check completed. Live has been inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Yeah, no, that's rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. We can start the engines straight away during the push. Which I'll do now. He might moon, I can't remember if he moons if you start the engines or not. So we go N2. How are you doing, by the way, today? You alright? BT Girl 1231, hello to you. Welcome to the stream. So, put the fuel in, be a good idea. Was checking the yeah, the auto brake has been MEL'd, so it's not working for some reason. That's interesting.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set, standby. So number 2 is starter cut out, and once that red line disappears, we can assume that yeah, the engine is stable. We'll start number 1.
Unlocking gear.
No bother.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass being removed.
And 2 on pressure, and 1 . The flight is about an hour, just over an hour and 5 minutes.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, about an hour. So it's not too bad. I think the engine has clicked off. And number 1 is stable as well. It's funny, the GT was about 300 something degrees, and then once the red accidents limit kind of line disappears, then it jumps to a 473. I'm not really sure the aircraft actually behaves like that, but anyway. So this guy is gone. We'll set the generators on, probe it on, anti-ice we don't really need, there's not really any moisture outside, although it's cold, but there's no moisture, so it's okay. Packs auto, bleed zone, and isolation valve auto, APU bleed comes off, eyes all set, start switch is continuous, APU comes off, and we can blank the engine page. There's no speed brake, flaps 5, and idle detent. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
As required.
Hydraulic A pumps.
On.
Air condition.
Set.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Engine start switches.
On.
APU.
Off.
Recall.
Checked.
Flaps.
Set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Start levers.
On.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Ready to go. You can see the EGT on the APU decreases. It's clear on the left. It's clear on the right.
Safety inspection checklist. Surfaces and shocks.
Stop the checklist.
Okay, confirm. You wanted what?
Stop
Cancel
the
the
check.
checklist.
Yes. That's actually the checklist I was looking for on safety inspection. The difference between start, switch, flight and continuous. Let me refresh my mind. Yeah, continuous you set for takeoff or land.
Surfaces and shocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
Checked.
Battery.
On.
Electric, hydraulic pumps.
On.
Landing gear.
Down.
Aircraft documents.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
Okay, so at least that will shut him up, because otherwise he's gonna keep asking for that checklist to be done. Yeah, so continuous start switches on continuous for takeoff, for landing, and when you set the engine anti-ice, you will set onto a flight, and that's kind of a higher setting. And if I remember well, you would set that in turbulence or heavy precipitations and things like that. So you kind of get the ignition to get going on a more powerful setting, if you want. Anyway, before takeoff to the line checklist.
Before takeoff to the line checklist. Config.
Checked.
Recall.
Checked.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Flaps.
Set.
Stabilizer trim.
Set.
Take off refit.
Complete.
Cabin.
Secure.
Before takeoff to the line checklist complete.
Runway entry procedure.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
No, I won't forget the TCAS. The TCAS is set by multi-crew experience by the first officer, so he's set it up. No worries. Before takeoff, below the line checklist.
Before take off below the line checklist. Engine start switches.
On.
MCP.
Set.
Transponder.
TARA. TARA. On.
Transponder. Auto.
Auto.
Landing and strobe lights now set. Landing lights.
On.
Before take off below the line checklist complete.
Let's go. So 40%. Let the engines spool up. And hit Toga. And we have N1 heading select Toga. And we'll set the takeoff thrust. And all the indications are normal. Yeah, Maeve, I'm flying is my job. I'm a pilot.
V1. Rotate.
Gear up.
Gear coming up.
So at the moment we follow LNAV and we'll wait for N1 to be enunciated, or rather 1500 feet. Yeah, no, N1 to be enunciated, engage the autopilot, and then wait until we get to 3000 feet AGL. So N1, command A, changes to MCP speed, and from 147 changes the speed to 167, which is V2
Yeah,
plus
and
20. And here we're gonna start accelerating, so set the speed to the up speed here. Once we get either 3000 feet AGL, or otherwise we get altitude acquired. So we get altitude acquired first. So we'll go bug up. Flaps 1.
Flaps 1 selected.
Flaps up.
Flaps coming up.
We'll wait for flaps up with no lights and go VNAV. And for the moment only climbing to 10,000 feet, so keep the altimeters the way they are. And we'll go now direct to Yankee Quebec Bravo. Execute and engage your nav. So we're now navigating, no problems at all. After takeoff flow.
Ready for checklist.
After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Air condition and pressurization.
Set.
Landing gear.
Up and off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Flaps.
Up, no lights.
Altimeters.
Standard set.
After takeoff, checklist complete.
Sorry guys, I can't speak when multi-crew is doing his job, so sorry, I'm not ignoring the text messages. I'm just if I speak, then it goes crazy. So I'll start. What aircraft do I fly? Yeah, at the moment I fly the 777, and but all I'll say is that I will only say that the company I'm working for are a little bit funny, so I will just stick to that. And yeah, I like to fly on the same on the days off. It's cool. It's quite relaxing. It's quite and as I'm not flying I used to fly the 737, but I'm not flying it anymore, obviously. So it's good to kind of remember how things were on the 737 as well. 10 checks climb.
10 checklist. Recall. 10 checklist complete.
Okay, so at 10,000 feet, it does what I call here the 10 checks, or the 10 checklist, and basically we switch off all the lights, make sure the APU is off. If the APU is on, that means that maybe we've done bleeds off or backs off takeoff. So just to make sure that everything is reconfigured as well. The seat belts are released now, and we'll check again the pressurization. I mean, the software cannot check that the pressurization is working. I mean, it's working all the time. Yeah, it's a simulator. But the multi-crew experience though will check that the backs are auto, isolation valve auto again, the bleeds are on, APU bleed off, and this one is on auto as well. And then press recall to make sure that there's no defects or there's no failures happening. And that's pretty much it. Then we are good to climb. Now I'll set flight level 240 for the cruise, and we'll check that it's set once, twice, and 3 times up here. And, we have 1215 we're listening to it. Although nobody's gonna speak to me on 1215, but yeah, ETA, let's have a look actually. ETA 1100, yeah, 1112, sorry about that guys, it's gonna be a touch later. I always get a little bit delayed, and yeah, that's the way it goes. So 1112 Zulu. So in just under an hour from now, it's not too bad. So I'm sorry about yesterday. I've lost all internet connections. The network went down, and the internet actually came back within about 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, but I had stopped everything. So So to talk about the aircraft I'm flying, that's why on the, I guess, that's why on the YouTube channel there's a lot of videos on the 777 and on the 737 because these are the aircraft I'm familiar with. So anyway, we're passing level 205 and just have about 3,500 feet to go to the cruise. And now we can sit back and relax and enjoy the flight. So as I said in the introduction, West Jet is flying this route on the Dash 8, but I don't have the Dash 8 in Flight Simulator, so I used 737, which for about a 1 hour flight is a good enough machine, I guess. We were looking at the scenery, the aircraft livery. Yesterday, it's quite a cool livery. It's West Jet livery. It's part of the PMDG setup. I'll change the view. It's quite cool, actually. This nice color, quite funky. One to go. Hopefully the altitude is not gonna, well, the autopilot is gonna stop at 240 while we're watching the livery. Yeah, they've been talking. Oh, I can see the aircraft lowering the nose. I think we're leveling off. Yeah, they've been talking about sending the data, the flight data directly via data link, via satellite to some sort of location somewhere that would so that we would get immediate access to the recorders instead of having to you know, go and dig them up somewhere, or like in the case of the Malaysian, you know, not ever like finding them. I guess maybe it's it cost a little bit of money, or I'm not really sure, but yeah. But that's probably what's gonna happen in the future, above all because they didn't for the Malaysian. I mean, we don't know where the aircraft is, and they'll probably never find the aircraft and the black boxes. Even if they found the aircraft, I'm not sure what state what state the boxes will be. No, I don't really get nervous about the safety of the flight. It just happened to me once. As a first officer, the captain was a little bit optimistic as to what the weather situation was around the airport, and like we're like battered by like a kind of wind shear and flying close to a thunderstorm on the approach, and the speed was all over the place, and that's the one time I kind of felt a little bit threatened. But otherwise, no, I'm quite happy. And that day when it happened, I told the guy, I said, I'm not happy. We need to get out of this place. So, and he tried a little bit to keep going, but then he realized that, you know, I was right, and we needed to get out of there. So we went away, and everything was fine. Obviously, yeah. But no, otherwise, no. But that's not in my current company anyway, so it's okay. I guess that's why as well there's like two pilots, you know. There's always You need to be able to kind of monitor what the other guy is doing, and so yeah. And if you're not happy with the situation, then you've got to first kind of give your opinion, and then if it still doesn't work, then kind of be a bit more forceful, and last case scenario, like, you know, just take over controls and go, you know. Or the F4 salary is not bad. It depends what company you're working for and all that stuff. Man, it's all relative, and it depends who you're working for. So one thing I'm trying to work on at the moment is trying to be able to show the charts on the stream, which would be quite cool. But yeah, I need to work out this PDF kneeboard, one of the modules in Flight Simulator. But once I tried and it crashed, so I don't want to. No problem. No problem, Jaxis. Sorry, I'm just back. I went to pick up something. Yeah. So yeah, you know, you want this job to be boring and you know, monotonous. You don't really want too much excitement. When you get too much excitement, usually it's not good. Well, there's something happening, but yeah. So the weather is quite similar to yesterday. Quite a bit of a cloud cover around. Back to the channel. I need to find a way to see who's watching the stream. I mean, I can see it, but it's not updated automatically. It's a little bit annoying. In case of German winds, must be a nightmare. Yeah, That's the thing, you know. They after after September the 11th, you know, they decided to make the cockpit doors bulletproof and lock the cockpit doors and stuff, which is fine. But the problem now is that the doors, once the cockpit is closed, then that's it. You know, you don't have access. So if one of the two guys, like what happened in the case of German wings, once one of the two guys is out, and if there's nobody else in the flight deck, then the guy inside the flight deck can do whatever he wants. That's what happened. I mean, actually the problem, or there was an example of that with the Ethiopian Airlines, who the guy kind of hijacked his own plane, so to speak, and instead of flying to Rome, I think they were going to, or Milan, the guy flew to Geneva and was asking for asylum. And so he just took advantage of the, you know, of his captain going to the toilet, and then once the captain tried to get back into the flight deck, well, he denied, you know, access, and then there's nothing you can do. I mean, there's strictly nothing you can do because the door is impenetrable. So so that's the two extremes, you know. Obviously you want the cockpit to be safe, and the cockpit needs to be kind of kept, you know, impenetrable, so to speak. But at the same time, so one of the ways to kind of mitigate that problem is to have somebody in the flight deck, somebody else. So a lot of companies send, like, you know, one of the cabin crew members in the flight deck, so at least there's two people in the flight deck. Is it efficient? Well, I'll let you work it out, but yeah, it's just something that is being done now by a lot of companies, a lot of airlines around the place. And I guess the role of the cabin crew sitting in the flight deck is not like to fight somebody who want to do something stupid, but more like just to be there to open the door, you know. But that person, I guess, could be disabled. Jax says no problem, you can ask all the questions. If I can't answer the questions, I will tell you, otherwise I'm happy to answer the questions, no problem. Yeah, we could use an electronic key, but what do you mean by electronic key? I mean, if it's an actual physical object, then if you're out of the like the cockpit, you go to the toilet or you go for a break or something, whatever. If then somebody wants to get access, they can kind of like threaten you and ask you to give them the key. So yeah. A key in itself is of no use. I mean, there is a way to get into. Once you're outside, there is a way to get in, but the guy inside can deny access. So that's why, like, you know, in the case of the Ethiopian. Or in the case of the German wings, the captain couldn't get back in, and maybe that's what happened with the Malaysian as well. One of the two guys locked himself at the front and kept everybody out. So there's no easy answer. That's why I was saying, like, you know, you've got it's the two sides of the coin. We want the flight deck to be 200% secure, but at the same time you want to be able to get in if the guy who's stuck in doesn't want to let anybody in, and there's no any definite answer. As I said, one of the ways is to put like a second person in the flight deck, but yeah, that's really it. It's really tricky actually when you think about it, you know.